The US President Donald Trump has repeated his claim that he has won the election, although votes are still being counted. While addressing the media yesterday, Trump repeated his claim that he has won the election and complained of corruption and fraud in the mail-in ballots without giving any evidence whatsoever for his claims. Trump also promised more lawsuits to stop counting in the battleground states. While he was addressing the media, interestingly, 3 prominent US media networks cut away from his speech, claiming that Trump was misleading. Twitter, on the other hand, has continued its exercise of flagging off Trump's tweets on the counting process and mail-in ballots as misleading. The Trump campaign has filed at least 6 lawsuits in battleground states. The latest one is in Nevada, alleging an electoral malpractice. They already have lost the lawsuits in Michigan and Georgia, where they raised a similar plea. In the lawsuit that has been filed in Pennsylvania, the court has ruled that Democrats and Republicans will have equal access to the ballot counting operations. Trump has also demanded recounting of votes in Wisconsin. The Biden-Harris campaign, on the other hand, now have formed a Biden Fight Fund in anticipation of pricey court battles.
In America, the vote is sacred. It's how people of this nation express their will. And it is the will of the voters, no one, not anything else, that chooses the President of the United States of America. So, each ballot must be counted. And that's what we're going to see going through now. And that's how it should be.
If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us. If you count the votes that came in late, we're looking at them very strongly, but a lot of votes came in late. I've already decisively won many critical states, including massive victories in Florida, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio. To name just a few, we won these and many other victories despite historic election interference from big media, big money, and big tech. And the pollsters got it knowingly wrong. They got it knowingly wrong. We think we will win the election very easily. We think there's going to be a lot of litigation because we have so much evidence, so much proof, and it's going to end up perhaps at the highest court in the land. We'll see. But we think there'll be a lot of litigation because we can't have an election stolen like this. It's not a question of who wins, Republican, Democrat, Joe, myself. We can't let that happen to our country. We can't be disgraced by having something like this happen.
Let's go to Geeta Mohan now, a foreign affairs editor, to get us a bird's-eye view of what is going on in the United States. Geeta, if Biden gets 6 of Nevada, then he's got the presidency. But on the other hand, you've got Trump, who's alleging fraud and electoral malpractice as well. So much so that while he was making that particular address, 3 very prominent networks even cut away from his speech, saying that he was misleading. Twitter's flagging off his tweets as well. But all in all, what's going on at the moment? And the weight is, something that is keeping everyone on guard, on the edge.
Well, the fact that the numbers are still being counted, there has been an insurmountable delay in calling the states, and that certainly has kept people on tenterhooks. We know that there was a massive lead for Trump in Pennsylvania and certainly in Georgia, but that certainly has narrowed down, with now Biden leading in almost all states barring Pennsylvania. And if the counting continues, which Trump is opposing because he always feared that the mail-in ballots would not be in his favor, then Pennsylvania also could go the Biden way. So the options for Trump are not just narrowing, it's almost near nil. But for Biden, it's not just options now. He's looking at a comfortable majority, a comfortable number, way past 270. And that's the reason why we see a desperate Trump coming out with the statements. With regards to channels and networks cutting out Twitter, making some of his tweets sensitive or calling them misleading, is because the statements that he's made is about malpractice, fraud and cheating. Now, we've been going through all the networks ourselves, and all of them had one thing to say, that they can say anything about the process. They've been questioning the electoral college system, so on and so forth, but saying that people from the dead have come and voted, or someone who is not present or voted twice over, is just unfair. And that's the reason why, keeping the sensitivities in mind, they cut out of Donald Trump's speech last night, and Twitter labeled them misleading. So it's very interesting. But again, Chetty, one has to remember this. The pollsters said that this is going to be a landslide victory for Biden. That certainly is not the case. It's a wake-up call for the United States of America that things do stand polarized, and Trump does still have a base, a strong voter base, and that's the reason why, despite COVID and despite Black Lives Matter, he's managed to give one of the toughest fights to Joe Biden. The numbers are looking good for Biden, but Trump has the Senate. And if you have the Senate, then legislations for the Democratic Party will be very difficult. Legislations to be passed by the White House or the Biden administration would be very difficult. That's something that everybody should be looking at, rather than just talking about victory. Although, at the end of the day,
talking about
it is
the
about
Senate,
winning
you're right,
and losing.
because the markets are also jumping, hoping that the Republicans are retaining control of the Senate, given the fact that there will be no major policy changes if the Republicans really hold on to the Senate as well, and the markets are privy to that information too. And thank you so much, Geeta.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.